All right, folks, thank you for coming out this evening. It's 7:32. We are called to order. If everybody could please rise and pledge the flag with us. Thank you. And roll call, please, Angela.
Saba Al-Zayed.
Here.
Amy High.
Here.
James Fee.
Here.
Megan Nolan.
Here.
Diane Gundrum.
Here.
Tony Heil.
Here.
Kyle Schenk.
Here.
Mr. President, we were in executive session from 7 o'clock to approximately 7:30 with regard to a personnel issue.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. And just for the record, our borough manager, Keith Truman, is out today on a personal day. And with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Beta-Long.
First item on the agenda is for council consideration adoption of February 28th, 2023 meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Al-Zayed, seconded by Ms. Nolan, regarding the regarding the February 28th meeting minutes. Questions or comments from council or the public? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the adoption of the March 14th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Oh.
Doesn't have it in the slide. Sorry. He added it at the last minute.
Got it. I'll make the motion.
We have a motion from Ms. High, seconded by Ms. Nolan, I believe, to adopt the March 14th meeting minutes. Questions or comments from the council or the public about the minutes? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then that is unanimous as well. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, for council consideration, we have the authorization to advertise ordinance 2023-002, executing a cable franchise agreement with Verizon.
And this is a contract that comes up, it's not annually, it's every, 2 or 3 years? Do we know?
I believe it is every year.
It is every year?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a standard contract that we have to advertise and execute every year, just for the record.
I'll make the motion. I'll second. Let's keep our FIOS.
The motion's from Ms. Gundrum and seconded by Ms. Nolan. Questions or comments from council or, yes?
I would just mention that this was reviewed by the Cohen Law Firm, who specializes in these contracts across Pennsylvania for these types of ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. Appreciate it. Additional comments or questions about authorizing the authorization to advertise on the ordinance? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. That's unanimous.
Next item on the agenda for council consideration is a request letter for Upper Marion Invitational Regatta.
And you know what? I don't have a hard copy of that. Do you happen to have a hard copy in your packet? Hold on, let me get a digital one, just so I can give folks a summary. Oh. So if I recall correctly, the letter is just the request to use the space, to use the property on Rotundo Park to provide parking, set up areas for some of the activities at the regatta. I don't believe there's really any other ask. They do, offer to repair any damage or anything that might occur, but we've never had an issue with them before. Any insurance issues on this, Mr. Bell, or anything? Any
No,
additional comments?
but we should make it a condition of the approval that they do restore any damage done to the property in the event that it does happen.
Yeah, it's in the letter.
It's never been an issue. It's been a wonderful event, but, they're inviting third parties on, and third parties can do silly things at times.
Well, then we'll make that conditional to approve the letter from the Upper Marion Rowing Club regarding the regatta and the use of our property, with the condition that they do agree to repair any damages done to the property. So, motion?
Make the motion. Second.
That's from Ms. Al-Zayed, and it's seconded by Ms. Nolan. Any additional questions or comments? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda for council consideration is the authorization to advertise ordinance 2023-003, amending Chapter 72-14 of Bridgeport Borough Code, post-retirement spousal benefits.
Thank you. And again, for the benefit of council and for the public, this is an item we've been talking about regarding the post-retirement spousal benefits. I believe, maybe Tony or Mr. Bello, this is pension funds as the amount that it pays out to death benefits?
It's actually death benefits paid to spouses. So the one group hired before a certain date is 120 months. The other group, future hires, is 60 months.
Thank you, Mr. Bello.
That the spouse would receive benefits in the event of passing of an officer.
Yeah, and this has already been agreed upon, so I'll make the motion to advertise.
Second.
Motion's for Mr. Hiles, second by Ms. Gundrum, to advertise the Chapter 7214 regarding post-retirement spousal benefits. Questions or comments from council or the public? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous as well. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda for council consideration is the approval of cost estimates from Valley Forge Security for the Borough Hall security camera upgrades in the amount of $11,457.50 and $1,884.50.
And just, again, for the record, for the benefit of the public and the council here, this is part of a larger project of security upgrades around the borough. You'll see next on the agenda, we'll be talking about the same upgrades up at Memorial Park. Again, something we've been discussing for quite a while, and I think is overdue and will be a benefit to to folks. I think that's all we need there. I will say we're cooking through this agenda without Mr. Truman here to opine on things.
You can save a lot of money, really. Though we can't put that up for new business now. We'd have to put it on the agenda for next time. So are we, we discussed this, and we do need the new security cameras. Getting them digital is important for safety up there, both for Borough Hall and then next at the park, for many security reasons that we discussed in finance. So are we...
The first motion is for the security cameras around Borough Hall, and there are some indoor and some outdoor, I believe, on this plan.
Oh, I understand. It says approval of cost estimates. So are we approving that these are the estimates? Because that's just want to make sure exactly what I'm approving.
He says we don't have to bid.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the spending. Are we approving the spending then? Okay, to approve the spending. Just the way it's written, I want to make sure it wasn't.
A second.
The motion is from Mr. Hiles, seconded by Ms. Nolan, to approve the upgrades to security cameras around Borough Hall. The estimates as such there. Additional questions or comments from council or the public? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda for council consideration is the approval of the cost estimate from Valley Forge Security. This is for the Memorial Park security camera upgrades in the amount of $4,595.
And as Mr. Truman mentioned in his note to us, these are, while they're not budgeted expenses, we have the funding for this in our reserves. It's not an extraordinary cost. With the new park walkway going up in that area around the pavilion, I foresee that we'll have more use of it. I know my family's walked along there already, and I've seen other people using it. So it's important to have these new cameras for safety in that area in general. With that in mind, I'll make a motion to approve the spending for the Memorial Park security cameras.
A second.
We have the motions from Mr. Hiles, seconded by Ms. Nolan again, I believe, to approve the upgrade of the park security cameras, noted as such, $4,595. Additional questions or comments from council or the public on that? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Okay, last item on the agenda for council consideration is the approval of the bills and salaries for March of 2023.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Motions from Ms. High, seconded by Ms. Nolan, to go ahead and pay the people. Additional questions or comments from council or the public on the approval of the payment of bills and salaries for the month? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is unanimous. Thank you.
Are there any items of unfinished business? Moving on, are there any committee reports?
Yes, just a quick committee report slash announcement for the Sustainability Advisory Committee. We are having our annual spring cleanup day that will be on Saturday, April 22nd. We will meet outside of Borough Hall at 10 a.m. Cleaning for approximately the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever time you have available, but we will also be providing lunch after the cleanup event. So again, Saturday, April 22nd, at 10 a.m. outside of Borough Hall. And if I had my phone next to me, I would be able to check to see the date of the next sustainability meeting. That will be the second Thursday in April, which I can't, my fingers are sweating, so I can't unlock my phone. But whatever the second Thursday in April, that is the next sustainability meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Nolan.
It's the 13th.
All right, if there are no more committee reports, we can move on to the mayor.
Thank you. The Founders Day Committee met last week to discuss everything about our first ever Founders Day event. We talked through the good, the bad, and ideas for next year's event. We would love to hear your thoughts. So please expect a quick survey to be going around on Facebook and hopefully through an email from the borough in the next few weeks, just asking for a few minutes of your time to get your input on the day if you were there, so we can get your thoughts on how it went. And if you would like to participate in next year's event, please join our next planning committee meeting, which will be on Tuesday, April 18th at 7 p.m. here in council chambers at Borough Hall. And on this past Saturday, community members came out to assist in helping the Little League prepare for their opening season, which, I guess pending any bad weather, will be on Saturday, April 15th. So thank you to everyone who came out. Councilwoman High was there. It was exciting. Things are really starting to look clean up there, and I can't wait to see the kids have a great season. The Bridgeport Pet Fair will be taking place on Saturday, April 15th, actually after the Little League opener. This will be from 1 to 3 p.m. in the parking lot at Borough Hall. Come check out our vendors and information booths. Get your face painted into an animal, again, by Councilperson High. You might have seen her at other events. She's quite the professional. You can also have your dog compete in competitions for best trick and best costume. And finally, you can adopt a new cat or dog as your best friend. So it's going to be a pretty exciting day. So please come out to see all the fun and cuteness and reach out to me if you have any questions. And just a little shout out if you didn't hear on social media. Today, the brand new 4th Street Cafe opened at 26 West 4th Street, almost right across the street from Borough Hall. So please welcome them at this new location. I know they've raised their family and ran businesses around the Bridgeport community for the last few decades, and I know they're excited to be here. So make sure you stop by. That's all I got for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And Chief Beretta.
Good evening, everyone. Just to talk about some of the paving. So I posted some pictures and some streets that looked like they were going to be done today. So front, second, third was being finished at 3:30, so that should have been completed today. The stretch of Green Street that would be north of West 4th Street to the Borough lot still has to be done. Marion has yet to be done. That runs along the high-speed line. West 5th Street between Green and DeKalb, and 9th Street. So I think they got done. They did Prospect and Fraley, and then there might be a little strip on Mill Street in between off of Rambo Street. And Rambo Street, they did a good job. Incredible stuff to see it, just tough to get people to move their cars before the tow trucks come. Want to say thank you for part-time officer Phil Laboudelet. He's got family here, not in here today, but in the Bridgeport area. Phil is just completing a year of service here, and he's going to be moving on in a couple weeks with Pottstown Borough Police Department. So Phil's done a great job. I know he'll be back in on Thursday. I think that's going to be his last shift, but he's done a wonderful job for Bridgeport, so we sent him on his way with well wishes. Water rescue training. We had one person out of the 5 the officers that are getting trained along with our Bridgeport Fire Department members with Elder Rescue on the river for the final phases of the water rescue certification. This coming Saturday, we'll have the other 4 of the 5 officers attending for that training. So hopefully they'll be able to finish it depending on water levels, the speed of the water. They might not be able to do all of the certification skill sets that they might need to accomplish, but hopefully the majority of that will be done after this coming Saturday. We have a DUI rover out tonight, so tonight is not a good night or time to drink and drive in Bridgeport. Otherwise, you'll be meeting Officer Bailey. A couple restaurants and some places just did some walk and talks. Again, the Mahoney's there that are now on East 4th Street, and they're really happy to be here for the 4th Street Cafe, so that was wonderful. Saw at least probably 30 people there today. Saw the parking lot next to it, and you got that vibe, that same vibe that we're going to see a lot more of on 4th Street to come. It was palpable. As far as, I had one more thing here. Actually, that's it. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Chief. And do we have any new business?
I actually had a question for Chief Breda. That's okay. So I've been speaking to a couple of parents kind of in the community, and one of the concerns that's come up a couple of times is when school lets out, there's a car line, and it seems that the car line kind of goes one way, and there's a street across the street where kids tend to run across the street to go to their parents that are not waiting car line and potentially get hit by cars. So it seems like a dangerous situation, and it's been mentioned by more than one person. So I guess I just wanted to bring it to your attention and see if we could have maybe a police officer stand there, maybe ticket the individuals that are, maybe illegally parked or putting kids at danger, because it seems to be pretty risky.
Yeah, I've talked to the principal. I was up with Principal Bickert, so like the bigger picture. So obviously we know what happened recently. Some crazy, outrageous things have occurred, and the focus on keeping the kids safe. With regards to specifically that issue, I talked to Principal Bickert because they were passing things out through notifications within the school district so that the parents did not do what they have been doing. So to check in with them to do that so that they're not jaywalking across there. That's not a spot where we have a crossing guard. We have 4 crossing guards and 4 spots for crossing guards. So he did explain that was an issue. In the last few weeks, we haven't spoken, so I'll follow back up with him again to address that.
Yeah, I know since we have kids, we get at the school, we get emails from the principal. They weekly message parents about where they're allowed and not allowed to park at the end. Because I usually walk our kids home, or if I do drive, I try and park not in that spot. So it's not usual that there's a lot of back and forth, but sometimes there are, and it just takes one. But the school has been notifying parents, don't park there, and other safety things. And I don't know who is not adhering to that, but they are notifying parents at the very least. But definitely, it doesn't hurt to message on our end or your end to message them as well, and just let them know that we're alert. So
Yeah, I just think if the police were there just a couple of times, even just to deter people, I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's definitely something I'd rather be proactive about than have a kid get hit by a car. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And so to move a little bit further, and I should have spoken about this. So there was a horrendous act in Nashville yesterday. We've seen it, seen the carnage. I've seen many different events. So you'll see increased police activity up there. Did walkthroughs today, talking with the children, and you'll see police cars around there, positioned there, and so you'll see some more police activity around there. So don't be surprised. We have a good relationship. I spoke with the principal, and to see how the children are dealing with that, if there's any questions. So
Yeah, I do appreciate having gone to the monthly assembly. I know Officer Sell's been there multiple times. You've been there. Officer Broski or Broski, I heard it different ways, has been there. So, and he's new, and but they know him already. So there's a good presence, and it doesn't feel overbearing. It just feels like a friendly presence from what I see from the teachers and kids there, and that's what we want. So it feels like a school more than anything else. But I know that they are in there. I think it's a great idea to have a couple times outside to make sure parents or people are adhering to the traffic rules around there for safety. But I do appreciate seeing that they're there on occasion to make sure we're there. It also helps to know that our police are just a few blocks away at any one time.
Yeah, there are wake-up calls in every community, and it resonates, obviously resonates very far. So we have good relationships, and just as a reminder, all of my officers have received active shooter training. I've sent everybody else to that. I actually have to go to the next class when they have it later this year for those things, so that in the fog of chaos, you're going to fall back on training. So the hopes that we don't do that, but we also are a vibrant part of the whole Upper Merion Area School District, and there's a greater chance that if there was an event, it might be at some other location, and our officers know how to work with the other officers so they could work as a team to save lives.
Yeah, thank you, Chief.
Are there any open forum and announcements?
I just want to say I was talking with Mr. Woyden earlier. Really, the paving job isn't going really well, and the residents are happy about it. So that's good that we've getting to areas we haven't gotten to. But not only are we going to places we haven't been recently, but they're doing an even better job than normal. So when you're talking to them, let them know that there's some appreciation out there.
I think the same for the project up on Holstein Street. Removing that island looks really good, and I know it's improved the parking situation up there considerably. So,
thank you.
Are there any items for public comment?
folks in the crowd? Thanks.
Oh, motion to adjourn?
A second?
There we are adjourned. It is 7:55. Thank you,
All right.
folks.
Everyone enjoy WrestleMania on Saturday.